Okay, so yeah, should be good now. So yeah, we're gonna be on the Slab server again. I figured I would start in the Pokemon Center to show. I don't know if I finished this actually last time I recorded. It's been a long time since I've recorded things on the Slab server because I've been a bit busy with other things. But I've fully finished the Pokemon Center now. Well, I say fully. There's still some stocking to be done of items, but pretty much everything else is done. The songs are done. I could restock the potions. I might do that. I have enough diamonds to do it. I've been doing a lot of mining. So yeah, I have a few diamonds. Um, I've actually spent quite a few more than that as well. Um, Diamonds kind of come and go pretty fast on the server sometimes. Like I had a friend I know IRL join the server, so I got them some netherite stuff, uh, and went from like 13 diamond blocks to zero, and now I'm back up to 21 from doing some speed mining. Um, that's kind of like the generic mining off camera thing, where it's like you come back and you've got 7,000 diamond blocks or whatever, but um, I could put these in my storage. I have a lot of shulkers on me, as you can see. I just went ahead and repaired my pickaxe after trip to the resource world to do some mining. If you don't know, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the Slabserver has two worlds that you have access to. One is this world here, the main world, and the other is a resource world you get by throwing an ender pearl over the world border, and then you can use that to mine for things like netherite, just to kind of preserve the world so that way people don't go around and blow up the nether and things like that. Um, I also attempted to build a new store, pallets, although I'm not really sure if I'm going to do anything with it. I haven't done anything since like early March. Um, the idea of pallets is to sell block pallets in Shulker, so you'll get a collection of items like I plan on doing in the past. Each floor is going to have like a different build style and theme, and I kind of didn't finish the building itself because there's some decorations to it. It's very like two-dimensional. Kind of need to add some 3D to it. They got the end before Monster Hunters. Pretty impressive. I guess they're kind of new on the slime, so I haven't seen them around before. I also cleared out all the kelp around the Pokemon Center. Um, this isn't the only thing I've done. I've done quite a lot in the last 2 months. So yeah, I built the Pokemon Center theme. You can flip this lever if you wanted to loop, as long as the song's already been turned on. There's also a system in place so that way you can't just spam the pressure plate. I actually did just check if I got any cells. I haven't had that much in stock because I've been mining and stuff, so I haven't really restocked it. Um, I could actually stock these parts here. All these are still unused. I had someone actually come by the other day and buy some stuff. It was the first time someone's bought something in the Pokemon Center since before it was opened, so that's kind of neat. Also have that. The button used to shoot out speed potions, and now it doesn't do anything, as I ran out of speed potions and I just haven't restocked it. Um, that's what I meant earlier about the speed potion things. Um, So yeah, there's been a few changes to the Slab server itself as well. Some new stores and things like that. Obviously, you have pallets here. This was a new store that was added today, I believe. It's this XP store called like Fast Repair or something. So you throw on a diamond and then you can pretty much instantly repair your tool or your tools. You get like 14 levels worth of experience, I'm pretty sure. So it should repair. If it doesn't repair it to full, like I don't really know how much XP you need to repair a tool to full, but um, it will repair it mostly. A lot of the stuff over here hasn't really changed. I've considered buying this store. Yeah, it's right there because it's on auction, but the people who own the store haven't been online in quite some time. But I don't know what that orange streak is. That wasn't here the other day. I flew by. I buy Adam Hammer. Another Phantom. I had some of them spawn before I started recording, so that's why I went inside the Pokemon Center. So yeah, spawn hasn't really changed too much, but there is one thing that has changed since last time. I figured I'd just fly over and show this. It's that Etho, the giant Etho statue, as this is kind of like an Etho unofficial fan server thing. um, has bunny ears in a basket. Tried to land on top of the tree, but failed. Christmas tree is still there as well. There's some eggs inside. I don't know if there are any signs or anything, but might check that at some point. I wonder if this is the same person who owns the Hunter exam blimp thing, because somebody recreated that on the Slabserver. I don't really know who it is. I visited it before. I don't think I visited it on stream though. It's not too interesting on the inside, but the exterior looks pretty much like an exact replica. Um, with the whole, like, I don't know if you saw, but I still left my activity check thing here. So if this doesn't get removed, then people can tear down the store. Usually people wait like quite a while. Like some stores still have theirs from like March and stuff if you can find some. I think I've seen some with February as well. Like I had planned on expanding pallets this way by taking the store off because it still has one from January even. Don't know why I zoomed in on that. Um, but yeah, some stores are inactive, like the people who own them just never play, so that will get reclaimed. The Pokemon Center also gets these. I already did the one for the Pokemon Center because I do plan on keeping that one around for a bit. Um, with the Pokemon Center, they'll actually get the whole island. That's why I filled it in. It's because I wanted people to be able to do whatever they wanted with the island itself if someone took over, if I became inactive for too long or something. But I've actually gained the active role on this, or removed my inactive role on the Slabserver Discord. I got it removed because I've been playing so much recently. I think I went from like 12 hours last week to probably have, or not 12 hours, 12 days worth of playtime to I think around, or not 12, maybe like 11, because I think, yeah, I'm at 13 now. So I know I was pretty close there. So you can see the nether hasn't changed, but my base is changed a bit, or has changed a bit, um, which I'll show that in a second. Whoa, oh, the crossbow loads. Random piglin. If I go this way, I should have gotten a boat. I think there are boats in this tunnel now. So I did start this whenever I had. This isn't the tunnel. The I own the tunnel in a way. Like there's part of the tunnel that I own, but somebody actually remade it. There's somebody's down there. Maybe it's Mint. Say it kind of looks like yeah, this is the tunnel I was referring to. Yeah, it's Mint. Say hi. Oh, that's just a armor stand with an etho hat on. I don't think he's noticed me. Quite a long tunnel. So yeah, the tunnel was just right over here. So yeah, Audrey kind of did her part of the tunnel. Oh, there we go. So I guess Mint just finished that, but I actually wanted to show something down here. Um, so I don't want to go to her base. I haven't actually seen her base, so I might look at it later. I don't know. Depends on how long I'll hoard, but if I go all the way down here, it doesn't look like there are boats there, so unfortunately I probably will be running out of rockets pretty quickly this stream. But not to get down here. I actually, I think I filled these in. They removed them. I was working on the tunnel last. I think multiple people did the tunnel. Um, But yeah, I've been working on some note block songs out here because that is something I like to do. That's a store that I've wanted to open. I opened it with the Velvet Room whenever I had that store, but it didn't ever make any sales. So then I swapped over to the Pokemon Center. That one's made like one sell since it's been opened. Um, and I think I got like 14 diamonds out of it, so it wasn't too bad. Um, I have a business strategy there that I might go over later, whenever I return to the shopping district or something. But yeah, I don't really want to play this yet until it's finished, but I am working on Jordo's theme as the first song here. And then I was going to work on the ED for Kill a Kill. That's its name. I can't pronounce it. But I haven't really had time to work on either notebook song as I've been busy doing other things on the server. I do want to take these with me home because I do have a system I can put them in now. I could also take out the netherrack, but I'll leave it. Yeah, this whole tunnel's been revamped now. Even like this part of it. Like I don't really care for decorating this tunnel, the notebook tunnel, until I get some songs finished, because it's just kind of a side project to me. So, I'll probably end up doing something like this in the future. I also want to finish the one for my base too, which is going to be moved eventually um, to a different section of my base. But now I guess I can go show it off. I might get some frame rate drops here, so I apologize in advance because it's expanded quite a bit. It's what I've spent most of my time on now. I used to never visit my base. I also need to finish that netherrack behind the portal. I used to like never work on my base at all, but now I've worked on it more because I used to always just build stores that would fail. And by stores, I mean the Velvet Room Pokemon Center. It takes a while to fill in islands. Um, and this room is where the old storage system is, or it's been expanded. But I figured I'd just show some areas that you might be familiar with. I think I've showed them before. The bedroom's still the same, chest's still empty. There are still shulkers everywhere around my base. They're all in my inventory right now, or at least most of them. Um, got them full of just random items. Well, not all full all the way, but yeah. As you can see, I've got like saddles and stuff, just random. Um, this is a new section of the base that was not added last time I was here, I'm pretty sure. So I've been working on filling in these walls. I need to finish everything and get some trapdoors on this. My friend is building this way, like a submarine or something. That's what they were saying. I wonder why they used magma blocks. I know it's efficient to get down or whatever, but falling is just better. They have not lit it up, and they're also using sea lanterns as lighting, which kind of expensive lighting, but I guess that's fine. I picked up some stone, that's fine, I can put it in the system. So the storage system has expanded. That's what I'm referring to when I say the system. Be crouching to take damage on magma blocks. It's not even that much faster. Oh, it's because they don't have any of the water filled in, I think. It didn't look like it, at least. Night vision potions. Oh yeah, because they were working on the water, kind of. Because if you go not too many blocks higher, you have the ocean floor. So there's just some random items here. You have like a golden apple, smoker blocks of invisibility. I used to use at the shopping district to see what stores people went into to get some items to sell. There was actually a zombie spawner, like in an underground cave, because there was like a, what's it called? Abandoned mine shafts, I think, and it led to the zombie spawner. Even though you would think it would be like a spider spawner or something, but I'm not really complaining. There are also skeleton horses in the base over there. I'll show them off in a second. But I decided to turn it into a drown farm, and it's kind of failed in pretty much every way possible. But what basically happens now is that zombies will just fall into this hole. Their head will be in the water, and then I just close this whenever I start hitting them, or if I stop. If I want them to like not swim up, because sometimes the drowns will just swim up in the one block of water. And then their items get filtered to either the gold chest or the iron chest, because baby zombies, and sometimes they just don't feel like waiting them waiting for them to convert to drowns and just like taking them out. And everything else just gets burned. I could technically convert the armor into materials and things like that, but I don't feel like it's worth it to set up a giant system. I like this as it is. This is just kind of like a temporary thing, or not temporary, but just like a small thing in my base that I thought could be neat and unique, and it can also serve to just get me some XP if I'm around. So next, there's a new room that's being added, or like a new section. So I'll explain that. The Renewable Resource District. I also have a pet slime in here named Rimuru. Um, Should reference to that time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's a baby slime with a name tag on it, so it won't despawn. Gave it some room to bounce. Lots of slimes spawn in my base. There's a lot of slime chunks. If I had like some sort of way to identify them, I would make a farm, but especially in this area, because there's I think at least two slime chunks in this room. So this is going to be a renewable resource area. What I mean by that is basically just a farming area. It's just kind of a fancier term because I want my base to be a bit futuristic. It's kind of inspired by Subnautica and things like that, with it being underwater. Although most of it's underground. There's a section of it that's underwater. Um, that I'll show off in a second. So this district is going to have like a cobblestone generator, sugarcane farm, probably like farms for all of the like wheat and beetroot, things like that, things you can grow with seeds, potatoes. I don't think potatoes have seeds, but yeah, potatoes will be in it. I probably won't fully automate them because I don't really care for that because it's not like they're going to be used too much. It's just kind of going to be a novelty thing with some of the items like potatoes and stuff. Um, so yeah, this is the donut as I've been calling it. Soon it will evolve into a table once I get those two districts started. One will be a I'm having like trouble naming it. Keep calling it like Trophy District or Combat District, but it's going to be connected to a PvP arena. I'm going to be building in the center, and then it's going to be where the Nether Portal is, because it will kind of be like a main hub. It's going to have like a trophy room where I display kind of like collectible items that I have that are unique to me and stuff like gifts that I've received from other players and things like that. Just kind of things to remember. Decked out is like right over there. I removed pretty much all of the kelp in existence around this area. There's still some pretty far off, but I wanted to not have like a super obstructed view. That beacon's new because that's where my friend's working on stuff. The exit to the base is still right here. That's the same. I had some stuff here to grow warped trees. That was the thing. But yeah, I removed that, and then I rebuilt it again, and then removed it because I realized I could just go to the resource world, chop down a bunch of trees. So yeah, this is going to be the storage district, then renewable resource district, and then I wanted to have like a mining district that was also going to have like a super smelter in it, so it could also be considered a food district maybe. I also need to finish the logs here and remove that part of them. I'm going to be doing that at some point, and then remove these torches because I don't like torches being everywhere in builds like torch spam and stuff. So I just need to figure out a way to light these areas of the hall and it not look bad or anything because I have like this. I thought this would be enough because I built this thing in creative with mob spawning off whenever I initially tested the donut, and then I realized that that's not how Minecraft works at all. Like you can't just have a hallway like this long without lighting or with more lighting than just this. So um, yeah, there's been a lot of mob spawns out here actually because all of the cows removed, so I usually get like 3 or 4 drowns. And then I can use it to farm squids because I use a lot of this dark prismarine and it requires ink sacs and black dye to craft the dark prismarine. Well, not both, but just black dye, which is made with ink sacs. So usually there's some squids around. I might go and take them out, but it looks like none are spawning, which is kind of weird. So yeah, the final thing that's in the base is a um, storage system. So this has been expanded from 6 chests on each side, or I call them like modules. They go by a few different names. I don't really know which one I use the most, honestly. But basically it's a double chest with a, or here I'll kind of show it with the stone. So a double chest with 2 hoppers, and then a double chest, 2 hoppers, and that happens 4 times. And then it's got item filter connecting to it. So it's got quite a bit of storage. 4 double chests plus 8 hoppers plus like 1 hopper for the filter and then one like item slot in a hopper as well. So it just gets a lot of storage for pretty much any item in the game. Um, and I've expanded it from 6 on each side to 50 on each side. So quite a major expansion. The frame rate's probably going to drop in here. It usually does. Especially I'm standing in the middle where you can see all of the chests rendered at once. So I'm actually going to go ahead and turn down the render distance a bit, just because of how big it is. I'm going to turn it down to 5, like it always makes my laptop lag, and I'm recording as well, so it's actually not here, but how am I getting lost in my own base? To be fair, my base is pretty much the same room design in every room, which is kind of an oversight. Uh, it just makes things simpler. But yeah, am I getting frame rate? I'm pretty sure I'm getting a tiny bit of frame rate drops, but yeah. You can see this thing is pretty massive. All the chests aren't even rendered at this point, but you can't see it behind these, like, pillars of stuff. I made that just so that way you wouldn't be able to see the fact that the chests aren't rendered in. I think you might be able to at certain angles, or if you, like, flew up here. There's a tiny bit of roof access, and then I left this here. I don't know why. I guess it kind of helped me here. Um, but as you can see, the chests aren't actually rendered at a certain point, even if you're playing on higher render distances. That's the case. Same thing with shulkers. You can actually tell with this chest. The system's not actually on. That's why none of the items are going. I'm sorry, going. So to turn the system on, it's just a very simple redstone clock thing, and I connected it to both sides. So all that it does is just moves the items into a hopper, and then they go into a dropper. The dropper shoots them into a water stream that sends them up here, and then from here they go into the item filter. So stones at the front, there's 4 stone chests now instead of just 1, because the one that I had actually got full. And then while I was building this room, I decided to mine with my fortune pickaxe. Uh, but that ended up... Is that stone or is that something else? Oh, that's dirt. Say it's stone should have ended up here. And there's no way that it could overflow with 4 chests. Like, even with 3 chests, it wasn't overflowing, because that first chest actually got full, but some guy on the server needed some stone, so I told him just to come take literally all of my stone, because I never used stone. Like, even in the store, I'm pretty sure I could just fill up the entire stone stock in like seconds. So yeah, got cobblestone. The items that are filtered are actually on these item frames, but the problem is that you can't really see the item frames because of the pillars, um, which is kind of a minor design flaw. And then all of these chests here are specifically designed to catch any items that don't get put into a filter. So not all of the items in the game are actually filtered in here, as there's only like 100 chests, and there's a few more than 100 items. Plus, these 8 are for stone and cobblestone. And then those are the only chests that have multiple items. I think that I have one that's labeled twice, being prismarine crystals, which is like here, and somewhere else too. No, I actually removed the label. So I had prismarine here. Why is stone in there? So this should be red tulip, I guess. Um, um, anyway, yeah, there shouldn't have been stone there. I might have to see if the item filter is broken later. Um, so yeah, when I was building this, I didn't think I was going to have enough items to like make filters for everything, so that's why I literally filter like items such as flowers and apples, even though I have 49 apples. But overflow, redstone ore is like everywhere in my overflow, pretty much. There's not. Oh yeah, there was actually some in this chest. There's none in the hoppers because there's some in the chest. There's none in this chest. But if we like keep going up, you'll probably see a ton of it in this top chest if I can reach it. There we go. Yeah. So that was something that I should have filtered that I didn't. So I might go back and organize them more. But the issue is that moving items around in filters is really annoying if you have a ton of items in the filter. Like the packed ice, I have a pretty good amount of it. Um, Nothing too crazy, but it's kind of hard to move. Prismarine crystals are something I'm hoarding because my base is made entirely of prismarine crystals, pretty much just literally like everywhere. Um, so, or not crystals, shards. So I've been farming. I've probably farmed for about 20 hours the past week, just like AFK farming at the Guardian farm, uh, because of how much like prismarine I need, and I'm actually out of lanterns, so I may need to fix that. That's right, I don't have. I should have named these items that way I could see it. Just because I kind of like having them named. But yeah, there's prismarine crystals. I think, yeah, they're still double labeled. So are they double filtered too? I wonder. They might actually be. I'm not sure. I might have to fix that later too, as I don't really get enough prismarine crystals to warrant the double, as this is only used in sea lanterns, and even though they were the primary light source of the base, they are still not used as often as crystals, or not crystal shards. I keep referring to them as crystals because I don't know why, but I think the shape just looks more like a crystal for them. So yeah, by the trophy room, I mean like probably putting in pig step and these eyes I got from Purple Kiwi. Um, and this was how it was named. There was basically this like shop in the shopping district that was llama that you could ride, but if you rode the llama, you got stuck inside of it. So Kiwi went and handed me these ender pearls to kind of help me get out. I actually had uh, ender pearls in my ender chest at the time, so it wasn't too big of a deal. Um, so yeah, the person who owned the llama was like, "Give me what she gave you," so I was like, "Sure," because I didn't realize I was trapped at the time. Uh, and he named them this so that way I wouldn't throw them. But I had some ender pearls in my ender chest anyways. Luckily, I should carry them around. Hype nugget. I don't remember what this build thing was for, but I have it. That's probably something. Cursed pumpkin from Diane Plebeo. I got that from them whenever it was Halloween. Kind of went around in the shopping district and just kind of mess with people. This actually has a use in the server. It kind of works as a wrench in like modded Minecraft where you can turn things around. I don't really know how to do it myself because I never messed around with it. But I would probably put that there. I have a Power 5 book in here for some reason. I have an extra pair of Elytra. My indoor chest is pretty random. I have Fred. Got that from somebody the other day. They just kind of handed it to me. Or handed it to me. So yeah, this was my friend's Stormwhipper. I gave him a moving gift. And then we were talking in the Nether Hub once. Like I built this table kind of just to talk. We were in voice chat in Discord, and somebody anviled him while he was wearing a turtle helmet, and it broke it. So that he replaced it and named the helmet. Sorry for their helmet. But I still gave them a full set of Netherite. I didn't know they had the diamond helmet, so I had to go out and buy that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire base tour now. Um, but once this room gets finished, I'm pretty sure things will start moving faster. That's a hole. I'm not really sure how I'm going to be working with this. I kind of want to remove the glass here because I think that the fire actually decreases the amount of area that zombies can spawn, and it already has a low enough spawn rate. So that will also mean that I only have to decorate what's visible here. I won't have to decorate like the top part. And there's going to be some changes to this too. I'm not really sure how I'll do that yet. Um, oh yeah, I forgot to show the horses. So yeah, obviously I chose the best name for both of the horses. I was playing on the server while it was raining, or it was a thunderstorm, and a skeleton horse trap spawned underwater. So I got both Joe and Mama because I couldn't really think of any other names at the time for both the horses. There was 4 horses, but I could only get them because it was kind of hard to move everyone, especially when I only had one saddle at the time, which now I have 2 because I went mining and found one. I went speed mining and found an abandoned mine shaft that was connected to a zombie spawner, kind of like the one on my face in the resource world, and managed to get one. So you can actually fly. I don't know if I've shown this. You can fly from my base to the shopping district pretty quickly. So I actually, you know what I should do before I go is grab some rockets because I'm pretty low. And I actually have a rocket shulker in my base that I keep around in the storage area. So I can also turn my render distance up once I get out of this room. But yeah, I apologize again if there's like FPS drops in here. That happens quite frequently. By the way, this still isn't fixed. I don't know why, but my portal links from the nether to my base, but not... Oh, that's weird. That's frozen. I turned off all animation, so I guess that makes sense. Oh, it actually turned off the sea lanterns too. I kind of did that in Optifine just to reduce lag. That might be where the water looks weird. But yeah, I did that to reduce lag, so that way it would hopefully not affect the FPS too much. But it's kind of weird. I'm surprised I didn't even notice it at first. Um, but yeah, I can still play. I'm pretty sure if I left the animations on, I wouldn't lag too badly or anything, but this kind of helps FPS and stuff. My max FPS is 30, or not 30, 60. But most of the time it hangs around like 50 to 30 because I'm not playing on a super powerful computer. Plus, I'm also going to be recording, so I'm sure it'll be even less with Streamlabs in the background recording. Because I use a different streaming and recording software. I don't know what the name of the software that I stream on is, um, but I get it with my capture card. I use the HD60S Elgato capture card, and I could theoretically use that to stream off my PC, but it like never works for me. Where like you use the HDMI from the um, I have render distance. Trying to think and talk at once. It's a bit difficult, but yeah, I could use the capture card and use the HDMI from my laptop into like the capture card and record that way. I just wanted to show all the kelp that I removed in the nearby area. So I removed everything from decked out to my base. Got permission to do that, and then kind of just did quite a large area. There's actually an underwater ship here that I want to do something with in the future because I want to terraform the ocean, which is just a massive project, but that's going to be way after I finish turning the donut into a table because I have a lot of plans for the table still. I've just been working on my storage system. That's what's taken me so long. But with that out of the way, I should be able to start getting a bunch of stuff done there. Because I shouldn't have to worry about storage in the future. Yeah, the shopping district is just over here. But yeah, I am kind of considering using it and trying to do my capture card again whenever I play Persona 4 Golden. I haven't really talked about this yet, but I have been planning on playing that um, after I finish Royal, but I'm not too sure on that just yet because starting another JRPG is going to be fun. Obviously, I planned on doing the Final Fantasy VII remake at some point. I still haven't had time to do that yet. Um, so yeah, I don't remember what I was going to do here at the shopping district. I guess it's gonna kind of go around and see any new stores I could think of that weren't here last time I recorded. So obviously pallets that took over where Oryx was. Oryx was taken down. I didn't think they would be returning, but they actually are returned. Here's the services they do. Stuff. Obviously pallets exist. If you want to see what the inside of the floors look like, there's going to be a book kind of detailing some ways to use C pallets and stuff like that. And then I lit it with sea lanterns in certain areas for some reason. They have shulkers in here full of items that are going to be used in. And I have this shulker too for some reason. Um, in pallets, so I wanted like the paths and stuff. I kind of have always wanted to mess with the paths around the shopping district because they're quite plain. Kind of convert them either to this path or maybe even a different style. Like I would change this path to make it more consistent with the other paths. But I wanted my path to look kind of decent. So that's why I didn't just do a regular path block. I copied the exact same path style I did at the Pokemon Center as well. Which is fully finished all the way around. Like, I don't know if I've shown everything at the Pokemon Center, but there's like a pond that I've built in the back. And, shrine. Pretty sure everything's lit up too, because I have these little bushes with, stuff in them, like some lighting items. Sometimes it's sea lanterns, sometimes it's shroom lights, it just depends. Sometimes it's torches, apparently. Um, and then I have one here because I get mob spawning, but I actually had a baby zombie spawn somewhere on the island. Like as I was setting up recording, I was like this. Well, it was like this, getting ready to record, and I had a baby zombie encounter that could have killed me. It only did like 2 hearts of damage, but it did kind of scare me because I wasn't expecting anything to be there. If that was like a creeper, then I would not have been happy because there's a ton of redstone like right at the entrance of the door because of the song. and it's like really complicated. I don't understand the redstone. I honestly could not explain to you why the system works as it does. Even though I'm the one who built it and I pretty much have a good grasp of redstone, it's just really hard to see all of the redstone. Like I can actually show it. So yeah, this is fine. This long turns on. I do have redstone access into my or from my employee only area, which is just where I have the stock of any items. It's all pretty much empty because I don't have any stock because I never expected to have cells. Um, but yeah, this redstone here is simple, but the looping mechanism and the mechanism that makes it where the song won't just be repeated every time you step on the pressure plate is really weird. So basically, after the song finishes playing, it goes to a piston that pushes the red because it's basically a toggle T flip flop um, with the pressure plate. So the pressure plate causes it to go here. That turns on the song, and then at the end of the song, the piston here pushes the redstone block back, and then the song slowly deactivates. But um, if you turn on the loop, then there is a second redstone line that apparently I don't know how I timed this right. Apparently, it had perfectly enough time to be able to uh, reach the song and start it again before the power supply is like fully cut off, or like after the power supply has fully been cut off from the first few notes. So that way it's behind. Like I don't know how far off it is because I can't really test it myself. And I don't have like two accounts or anything to be able to time it and see how exactly I managed to do it. But basically, the lever causes this block to move, which then causes the power to go through the block, and that's what causes the loop right here. And then there's also some signal here. I don't really know what this does, by being honest. Like I have no idea what that red zone line does. And then these blocks in the center here are for the other song. Yeah, the little healing sound is done here. I have a system set up if I wanted to make more potions, but I don't know. I figured I'd just buy them if I wanted to get more, as potions are quite cheap. There is a lot of potion shops, and they're all kind of cheap. Most people build potion shops whenever they build stores, just because they're like, oh, that's something that seems interesting. Like, I'll make a coffee brewery, or I'll make a like witch shop or something like that, and that's why I kind of wanted to avoid potions with my store because I never use potions personally. Like I only use potions if I'm fighting Wither, like and not cheesing them, or like if I'm fighting some sort of thing without cheesing it. Or I use night vision potions over here because I wanted to rebuild. There's a sunken ship here. I removed a lot of the kelp. Like I kind of feel like I overstepped because I didn't really ask anyone if I could remove the kelp, but I'm pretty sure no one minds. And remove like all the kelp here. It's actually got the dolphins to return, which kind of reminds me of a meme that happened from the whole stuff that happened last year, where the dolphins returned to Venice. Yeah, now there are dolphins that actually spawn on this side of the shopping district because all of the kelp is gone. I just don't really like the way that kelp looks in the water whenever it's fully grown like this, so I try to remove it. I try to leave all of the little seagrass at the bottom, but I just try to remove all of these giant kelp stalks because the server is played so much that all the kelp in pretty much any popular area is going to be fully grown. If not fully grown, it's going to be quite tall. Um, and then the water is just kind of polluted with all of this kelp. So I just kind of went around for about probably close to 15 hours if I had to guess, just like swimming around destroying kelp. Like I just watched. What did I watch? I watched some show while doing it. It was probably My Hero because I started that. And now I'm on season 5. I started that like before I had a surgery to get my wisdom teeth removed the other week. I figured I could watch that while doing it, and I actually caught up during that. That was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. That was before season 5 um, came out. So yeah, let me actually fly back to my base. I'm not really sure what to do now. I kind of just wanted to record just to show some of the changes that's happened on Slabserver regarding stuff that I do. Um, oh yeah, I guess I can show Tortuga. Um, this is definitely going to make my frame rate drop when I go here. Um, so yep, let's go ahead and go to the Nether then. So this is a place that I visited quite often recently. Um, it is a community like PvP area built by Vilas, um, who is someone I worked with a while ago and made a NoteBlock song for. It's the only NoteBlock song I was like hired to build on the server, so I did a pretty good job of it. It's probably my favorite NoteBlock song that I've made because I made it using my new style. I say new style, but basically I made it a bit more detailed than I used to make NoteBlock songs. I used to not even include. I went the complete wrong direction, but I used to not even include like the left hand of piano tracks whenever I would, because I mostly just get NoteBlock songs from piano tracks because I do play a bit of piano. Um, Although I'm not that good playing with both hands, the only song I can do it with is Great Fairy Fountain. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't even like do that. I only did right hand, so I switched doing left hand as well, and I also do sometimes notes require multiple note blocks to be pressed at once, like more than three. So that was another thing I did, whereas I used a piece of redstone to extend the signal to hit like a maximum of six note blocks in one tick, rather than have to split it up um, one tick at a time with like three. So yeah, that was something that I've been doing. So this is the way to the ship, and then this is the way to Tortuga. So I actually want to visit the ship first. I'm going to go ahead and reduce my render distance a tiny bit, but you do need a lot of it to see Tortuga because the PvP center is huge. I actually did an Easter egg hunt here the other day. I thought about recording it, but I decided against it because I had Discord running in the background. So I didn't know how that would affect it. There's going to be a lot of sounds here because for some reason there's a ton of these. But yeah, this is the note block. I actually went back and improved the song. And some Enderman had messed with it as well, so I fixed it again. If there's any issues, it's mostly due to lag. Like, I've listened to the song like 50 times in a row and had different sounds each time. Yeah, as you can see, the lag kind of messed up there because I looked that way. And that started to load in Tortuga because I believe Tortuga's that way. Yeah, it is. So, as you can see, this pirate ship was already a massive enough build. There's like a crack that you can unslide here, and then there's like a storage system that Vilas used, I'm pretty sure, while building this. So this over here is the beach of Tortugas, like, portal. This is where you enter the PvP and stuff. As it is like this whole spawning system, I'll go show in a second. I won't go fully inside because I would have to like remove my armor and do all this stuff that I don't really want to do right now. But I will go inside Tortuga itself, but I don't really want to go inside the spawning area. I mean, so you can see this place is massive. There's a lot of leaves, and I'm playing on a resource pack that adds these little like spikes to the leaves, as you can see. So that causes a lot of lag. So sorry in advance about that, I guess. But there's not really much I can do because I don't think I can turn off my resource pack on stream or on recording because I think that'll actually mess it up. Um, but as you can see, this is kind of the entrance of the Tortuga arena. And this is the spawning area here. Boat. So yeah, as you can see, run down here. All this will do is drop some armor pieces and then also drops a tiny bit of food. I think it drops ender pearls and it drops like sword, bow, and they use spectral arrows, which I think is kind of cool. It's whenever you shoot someone, you can see where they're running. for a short bit, things like that. No shields, but yeah, everything else is like iron armor, iron swords, no enchants. There's like this huge retrieval system where there's these boxes. I'll go show some of them. You can put items in here, and then there's kind of like a mutual agreement not to kill anyone while they're at the boxes, where you can like deposit if your inventory gets full of like all of the iron gear and stuff that you're picking up. And then there are beds, or a bed for you to respawn. You respawn, you walk through, because if you run, you'll miss some items. And then there are some lockers for you to put your items. I'll actually remove my name here because this is when I was at the Easter event. Yeah, my FPS is already dropping in here, so sorry about that. Um, but yeah, this is where I put my stuff, but I managed to take all of it out when I left. And I'm not using that locker right now, so there's team thing if you wanted to play with teams on, and then you just get a leather helmet and dye it. So inner chest here for you to put your stuff in. And yeah, and then behind that door, there is a room with a few different paths you can walk down. I might do a session of PvP on stream one day or something and show how the respawn system works, but it's really cool. You basically walk down these tunnels. And at the end of the tunnel is a water stream, and each one goes to a different location. And while you're in the tunnel, there's an iron door that closes behind you, so that way people won't just go to your spawn. But if you walk in the tunnel like right next to someone, you'll generally end up in a similar area to them most of the time. Rocket failed there. So yeah, behind these walls is the actual spot where you do the PvP. Usually people don't go outside of the walls. You can get it on top of the walls in certain spots, and you can get pretty close to them, but most people just kind of stay inside while doing PvP. So as you can see, it's quite massive. There's actually even like underground stuff that I might show a tiny bit, but I get lost pretty much every time I go into the underground place, so I don't really want to do that. Um, but yeah, the owner, Milos, said that you can PvP here anytime you want, things like that. As long as you don't like creeper it or anything. There's pretty much no spots where creepers can spawn, but I have heard people say that they have had mobs spawn in certain areas, and they've like gone through and checked the lighting and all this kind of stuff. But it's such a massive place that I mean, there's bound to be a few spots where mobs could potentially spawn. Yeah, as you can see, it's just kind of a massive area. There's buildings, all the buildings have like interiors and things like that. It's one of the largest builds I've seen done in survival. I don't know if it was done solo. I don't think it was a solo build, even though like Vios is the one who owns it. I think there was multiple people who helped build certain spots of it. I don't know if he's like the sole owner of it. I would guess not at the point, but yeah. There's a giant church here in the center. Yeah, I did have a zombie spawn in the church, so I might let Vilos know that there was one that was spawned inside of here. Um, if I had a sign on me, I'd leave a sign. Because it's probably like this area here where it would spawn. Because there was no doors broken, so it didn't like go through or anything like that. So I wonder if you could like jump down here to escape someone. Looks like there is fire at the bottom, but you could theoretically do it if you had enough health to survive the fall. You don't have feather falling on the boots, so could be an issue. So I'm gonna take a drink of water there. Yeah, I'll do a fly around here. This will probably cause a lot of FPS drops, but yeah, there's a beacon on top of the thing here. I don't think it does anything because I've kind of messed up some of the PvP situations. I don't think having a speed 2 beacon would honestly be that bad for PvP, or maybe like speed 1. Um, but yeah, I feel like most of the other stuff would be a bit disruptive, like healing especially. Um, resistance, strength. Maybe like strength 1, speed 1 could be interesting. But yeah, there's like this crane. There's all this stuff underground too. There's like beaches. All of the water has like um, some glass underneath it so you can't just like swim underwater and hide the whole time. The Easter event was kind of cool. There was like basically you would go to an area like this and try to find an item frame. I believe I found one over here. I think somewhere like I don't remember exactly where it was. I think it was here. there was an item frame and it had glazed terracotta in it, and each glazed terracotta was an egg. They all had names on them and stuff. And you exchanged one egg for a diamond block. I found five, so I got 5 diamond blocks just for kind of showing up. And then there was a game of hide and seek. I hid in probably the worst spot imaginable, which I was running around. I didn't really know where to go, so I just hid here. Um, I actually had the first guy who was a seeker. We only played one game, but the first guy was a seeker. He had already found a few people before me. Like went on this, went like down here and just ran past without looking, or maybe they like looked here and didn't see me. I was crouched with armor off, but I don't think I would have blended in. The next seeker came by did find me, though, as I was in a pretty obvious spot. I just thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, there's this huge underground maze, basically, as well. There's a lot of interior buildings I didn't show, but this is kind of just like a brief showing here I wanted to do of just the base. I might do PvP on a recording or something in the future. I don't know. I kind of like to be in VC with the people I'm PvPing with, though, um, if possible. That way I can like talk to them and stuff and make jokes. So I don't really like recording with Discord on. I don't think I've done it before, but I'm pretty sure it went in well. With FPS. I already get FPS drops here enough as it is, and I'm pretty sure the Streamlabs probably didn't like that area as well, um, as far as FPS goes. These things like work 50% of the time now for some reason. They used to work all the time, but it's kind of weird. Um, yeah, I'll save some rockets here because I've used quite a bit of them. But yeah, just thought that was kind of an interesting area, so I'll return to my base now actually and sign out. Or I'll probably still be on the server doing some grinding or something. I might play a game in the background and AFK at the Guardian farm for a tiny bit or something. While the video uploads, or this video uploads, as it does take a while for me to upload some of that kind of stuff. I won't end it here. Well, I kind of do want to, even though it's probably going to cause some FPS drops. But yeah, guess I hope to see everyone in the next one. Or, you know what, let me do it with this not here on the thing. Kind of stand in front of the sign because it's kind of weird thing to have in the background. There we go. That's one way to get rid of that. See, is that in my hand? Yeah. Shouldn't be now, though. Nope. Okay, so, yeah, guess I have to see everyone in the next one.